Good morning. The sun has not come up yet, and I have this exercise I want to do with you. I've written down these things for us together. So I want to practice this exercise that I heard about in a book called It's Not You by a narcissistic expert. She's an expert in her field on narcissistic relationships and abuse. And when I was reading her book, I ran across these exercises of how to let go, how to do these little, not little, but rituals or ceremonies for ourselves. And so when I read through any self-help book, I like to do the exercises that come with it. And that is a really hot tip for anybody that you might say, well, I can't afford therapy or coaching, or I just don't have the time, something like that. You can always read some of these books and then do the exercises. For me, that's made the biggest difference in my life, doing the exercises. So this one is all about letting go. And I chose the ceremony or the ritual that is, you'll see at the end of this video, because the sun is about to come up, and I have a surprise for you at the end. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, if things go how I hope they will go. But, I think with Jehovah's Witnesses that they think that they're setting boundaries with us as ex-witnesses. They think that they're setting boundaries, and they believe that it's out of love, but it's not boundaries. It's just narcissistic control, and they're just doing what they've been taught by their leaders to do, and the elders and the governing body, and claim that it comes from Jesus and God. But I don't believe that at all, because the way that I was treated last weekend at this baby shower, I was thinking, man, did I really think that it was going to go any differently? And, honestly, I did. I thought that it would go differently, because the same group of people, they treated me much better, but that was before I said anything. So even though I was believing certain things and not saying them, they loved me. But then when I say the things, now all of a sudden I'm unlovable and I am being shunned. So it just goes to show that it really has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with them, because I'm just being me. But it got me really thinking about me being raised as a Jehovah's Witness and all of the damage that it has done over the years to my life. And I just want to talk about the things that I really want to let go. And some of them, like I said, I probably have. But, and then I wanted to tell you too about the boundaries thing. They think that they're setting boundaries with me. Like, oh, well, if she comes to the baby shower, we're just going to leave. Oh, if she shows up, it's like they're showing up to somebody's house that's worldly and pregnant, has their house all decorated for Christmas, and then they're going to shun me. I didn't even know that they would go to someplace like that, but I'm not here to judge anybody. I mean, people can do whatever they want, but I just know for me, I have boundaries, and I want to set those boundaries. Almost today is like a, hey, I'm setting my boundaries with them today. Here's the thing with me is that I'm going to put my boundaries up, but then I'm still going to love them, love them. So that's the difference between witnesses and ex-witnesses. As an ex-witness, I can put up my boundaries and say, but I still, and I still love you. Please, if you do this, I will do this, and I still love you. I'm never going to shun somebody, cut them off, not talk to them, because I just think that when they do these manipulation tactics like shunning, it just comes from a really gross place. It's a very hurtful place. And of course, they wouldn't understand if it hasn't been done to them. But when it's done to you, then you understand better, right? So yeah, for all of the witnesses out there that have shunned me and treated me badly, I still love them. I love all people. I really do. And I hope that they figure out what love really is, because I think we should all know that in our lifetime. But here's the first thing I want to let go of. I'll have to do a little marker. Oh, so we're at 5 minutes and 20 seconds of, this is where the video really starts. But not being valued as a woman, being raised as a witness. You are raised to be, just, to be kind of like a servant to your husband, a servant to the congregation, to the elders, it's like we were just the person that was sort of like doing the work in the background, but to support the man, just to support him. Like we were always giving, keep on giving. And then you can be a compliment to a man. You can maybe have a small part in little things, but in a support of the organization. But we were never speakers on stage. We were never the the one. We weren't like anything. We were just an addition. We were just sort of like, like there's the main dish and then you have like the sauce. Like we were like the sauce. I don't know how to explain that. But you know what I'm talking about. If you're a witness, you know what I'm talking about. Like you don't even have a voice. You're just sort of like the extra. You're the compliment. You are the side dish. You're the gravy. You're not the main deal, right? Like, oh, don't think too much of yourself, right? Well, I've got pages of these to get through, so I better make this a little bit quicker. And I treated myself to a coffee this morning. I'm trying this one. It's a grande pecan oat milk latte with half sweet, because some of them are so sweet, but I'm treating myself today. And I got to get through this list before the sun comes up. I wanted to show you the sun coming up. Okay. So I was not protected as a child from pedophiles. Having pedophiles in the congregation was normal. And we were not supposed to judge them. A moment of silence. It's pretty effed up. Is that so effed up? Wow. And how are you going to be protected with them when you're there in the same kingdom hall as them, and you're being forced to go out in service with them? It's disgusting. Here's another thing I'm letting go of. Being told that I was not enough. As a child, I always felt like I was not enough. I was always trying to do more, to be more, to my mom, to the congregation, like going out in service more, answering more, studying more, helping my mom more, like just more. Like it was never enough. I was never enough. It was always like try harder. And especially as you're growing up, because some of those milestones you can't reach until you're a little bit older. But it was like being pushed to get baptized sooner, become a publisher, be a pioneer, maybe even try to serve where the need is great, or even Bethel. I was thinking about that. I'm so happy that didn't happen to me. Here's the next one. Being the victim and then being punished. So I was the victim many times of, and I think I have to say these words because YouTube kind of, they censor things, but, sexual abuse. I was a victim of that many times within the organization and I was not protected, not just from one person, but 4 people. 4. It's kind of crazy looking back. Yeah. So not only was I the victim, but I was punished. I was made to feel like there was something wrong with me because they weren't ever punished. It was just like, oh, well, carry on. And then when I was 16, abused by my stepdad, I was disfellowshipped. So was he, but I was too. Like I was the problem. Yeah. The next one that I'm going to let go of is being poor. My mom raised 3 kids by herself on food stamps. Maybe she could have found a decent man. But I mean, geez, if you're a witness, like there's not many in the congregation, right? And even if there is, like she ended up marrying this pedophile anyways. So it's hard to really discern how somebody really is, like their full personality, when you've only known them for 2 weeks. 2 weeks and oh, let's get married. Oh my gosh. You know, sometimes it takes years maybe I would think a year sometimes to really get to really know somebody, to see them in a lot of different situations. But yeah, being poor. We were very, very poor, and I think that it was something that a lot of people in the organization are very proud of. Like, oh, we're poor. It's like it brings you closer to God or something, because like, oh, we're not materialistic. It's like, what does being poor and being materialistic, two very different things. Having money, being materialistic, 2 very different things. It's like, why does everything have to be lumped together in one? Anyway, I have a long list here, so I better get busy. Here's the other thing I'm letting go of, that I lost my mom. She was only 51 years old and she passed away. And that was because of the blood doctrine. Yeah. Yeah, and she was sick for over 10 years, 12 years, I think. And so a good part of my childhood was spent thinking, my mom's gonna die. Yeah. I'm gonna let go of that. I'm gonna let go of all the friends and family that I've lost to the religion. So my mom, I lost her in death, but there's a lot of people that have passed away that I've known for various reasons because of the religion. It all ties back to religion. And those are the people I'm talking about right now for me here today. And then I'm also going to let go of the people that are still stuck in the religion and they refuse to wake up. They don't have to. Nobody has to wake up, but they can do what they want. It's just really sad. But I'm going to let go of that, because whether they're stuck in the religion or they're dead, it's kind of like the same thing. Like you're living a life, but you're not actually living. You're not actually living. They don't even know how to live. They've never done it before. So to me, it's almost the same. Kinda. Let me know what you think about that. I'm also going to let go of all the years that I punished myself. I'm going to let go of all of those years. I was so mean to myself. I thought I wasn't good enough. I deserved to be abused. So many years wasted. I'm going to let go of that because that did even happen in my childhood. And I know I've spoken out about my borderline and how I was diagnosed with that when I was 40. And most of it is, it is from trauma, but a lot of times borderline, they will act out. For mine, it's more of like internal. They call it quiet borderline. And so that's what I did. And that is what I have to really be conscious of not to do, is to not take it out on myself. And so that's what I mean by punishing myself, because I really thought I was a bad person, because I was a victim and not protected, and then I was punished. So of course I would think I was a bad person, right? I was only a kid. I'm going to let go of all the birthdays that I celebrated and that I missed, and I missed out on people celebrating me. So I kind of want to count them right now. And so you guys can skip ahead, but I want to just count out all the years that I missed a birthday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I believe I probably celebrated my first birthday when I was 18. Yeah, and then back and forth into the religion, so I've missed so many, but we're talking about my childhood. And so from 1 to 18, every single year that it was my birthday, sometimes my mom wouldn't even tell me it was my birthday that day. Oh yeah, I guess you turned 8 last week or whatever. Yeah, sometimes I didn't even know that it was my birthday that day. I wasn't I wasn't ever celebrated. It wasn't a celebration to be me. And I'm sad about that. And I want to let it go. I want to let go of every Thanksgiving and Christmas that I missed. So every Thanksgiving, yeah, my mom, it was just my mom and then us 3 kids. And then my dad's family and my dad and my mom's family were all out of the organization. And so we wouldn't have had a family to, I mean, we would have had a family to spend it with, but yeah, there was no Thanksgivings. We were taught, my mom said, be thankful every day, which of course we are, right? Of course we are. But why can't we just have one day where we are with our family and together and just celebrating us together the one time in a year? I want to let go of that. So 1 through 18 of 18 Thanksgivings that I missed out on. I also want to let go of the 18 Christmases that I missed out on. And hey, we were poor. We may not have been if we weren't Jehovah's Witnesses, but you know, my mom would have been able to go to college and get a decent job earlier in her life than she did. And maybe we could have had a nice Christmas. Maybe. That would have been so cool, but I missed out on that. 1 through 18. 18 Christmases. And you know how it is when you're a Jehovah's Witness and you're a kid and you go to school and after Christmas and everybody has all their new sneakers and new clothes and some new little gadgets and toys and things like that. And then I would come with like nothing, you know. That's why I was always trying to hide in the background and sort of, you know, just hide away. So yeah, I always did feel like an outsider at school. I was always trying to be quiet so nobody would notice me. This is embarrassing being raised a witness. I'm going to let go of missing out on my college experience. School was never, it wasn't promoted like, it wasn't promoted to, like, for you to do great in school at all. And I did really great in school, but it was never acknowledged like, oh wow, great job, you know, straight A's or, you know, even graduating. Yeah, it was a little celebration when I graduated high school. My mom bought me a bicycle. That was the celebration. But it wasn't like, oh, hey, awesome. Okay, now what are you going to do? Even learning all of those things like SAT stuff and college admissions, like I still don't have a clue about any of that stuff. And I have a teenager that I have to learn kind of how to do that kind of stuff. I don't know. So I missed out on seeing how a normal family operates. I had no idea. And I thought it's very, it's interesting seeing how normal, like, quote, worldly families operate because they're all so different. Yeah, and the way it is in the Jehovah's Witness family is like the man is like, he's like the god of the family, and then the woman is like just helping him, and then the woman's job is to take care of the kids. I don't know, that's how it was. You know, I'm 49, so that's how it was when I was a kid. But I also missed out on sports. I'm not athletic at all. I don't know if I would have been, but yeah, I missed out on all the sports, but I kind of liked in PE, I liked badminton, I liked tennis, volleyball. I thought that was kind of fun. So maybe I could have done something with that, but I don't know because I never had the chance. We weren't allowed to hang out with other kids that were not Jehovah's Witnesses. And so because of that, you're not allowed to do sports. So now I do a little bit of sports. People would say it's not a sport, but because I work for a corporation, it's sort of just the way that it goes, that people golf. And so I thought, I think I'm going to become a golfer because I see these guys taking the day off of work. So I think I'm going to become a golfer, and I have learned how to golf. And so that's been really fun, but I'm not athletic at all. And I don't know if I would have been. I'm also going to let go of the battles with my body, of thinking that my body was the problem and then abusing it. So I've battled with eating disorders from my teens on. Not anymore. I don't battle with it, but it was a real problem for a long time. I thought my body was the problem, because if my body hadn't hadn't attracted people to abuse it, then there wouldn't be a problem. Like, I was the problem, because if my body wasn't attractive, then there wouldn't have been a problem. But that's not true, because the abusers are abusers, and if they wouldn't have abused me, they would have abused somebody else. And with working with my therapist, I've just come to the conclusion, and it sounds very simple, but I was just unlucky back then. I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I was just sort of unlucky. And so then because of that, I think, now I'm so lucky. Okay, now I'm lucky though. For me, that really worked in therapy. I don't know. It sounds so silly and so simple, but it really changed my whole thinking around, where I'm like, yeah, I was unlucky, and now I'm lucky. It really made me feel better. So yeah, because I was feeling like that I was asking for it, because they made me think, oh, well, you were asking for it. When you guys, if you would see me in old pictures, oh my gosh, I'm a nerd still, but I was a nerd back then too. I was wearing some clothes that my mama made for me, because, we didn't have the money to go buy anything new, really. It was just either the Goodwill or she would make it for us. And I would cut my own bangs, and my bangs were up to here. And then they'd go like this. I was watching that show 90210, with Shannon daughter. How do you say that last name? Anyway, she, how she had the bangs, and I thought that she was so cool, and I wanted to have the bangs, but mine were way up here. It was so funny. I was such a nerd. Oh yeah, feeling like I asked for it. Yeah, I asked for it. Oh, I just asked for it. And then the story of Dinah, that they would make Dinah out to be such a bad person. Oh, well, she went into the land of Canaan, and then oh, you guys, you already know the story, but it's just disgusting. Oh, if she hadn't have been there. And I was always like, what the heck? After I was abused and stuff, and then reading that story in the Kingdom Hall, hearing people comment on, every now and then it would come up. It's like, I don't get it. How is it her fault? I never understood that. Because she went somewhere she wasn't supposed to be, and then it was her fault and she was abused. What? I never could get that. That never made sense. It still doesn't, because it's wrong. It doesn't make any sense at all. Oh, I also missed out on the Girl Scouts, campfire, and all these different clubs, DECA club in high school. Yeah, I missed out on all of that, and I'm going to let it go. I also missed out on taking vacations as a family. We never took a vacation ever, because we were poor. And every time that we would, my mom would leave my dad and move away and then come back, and then move away and come back. We moved so many times, 25 times when I was a kid, because my parents were always arguing. So we would live in Washington, and then they would fight, and then we'd go to California to her mom's house, and then we'd come back to dad in Washington, and then they'd fight again, and then we'd go to Oregon, and then, you know, we moved so many times, so we never took a vacation. But it was kind of like when we were moving, my mom would be like, oh wow, look at this beautiful scenery, you know. It's like we're on a vacation, but we weren't. We were like actually fleeing for our lives quite a few different times. Yeah, and I never knew my non JW family. I never had ties with my family because I went to my first meeting when I was only 3 months old. My mom had come into the organization and kept me away from all of my family, everybody on my dad's side, everybody on my mom's side. And it's taken time for me at 49 years old for me to develop bonds with this family that I never knew. I never knew them. I'm so happy I have them because I know a lot of people, all of their family is JW, but mine wasn't, but I never was allowed to know them until now. And now it's really cool. And I have such a cool relationship with some of my aunts, and I see so much of myself in them, and I'm like, wow, this is so cool, you know. And my mom used to say, oh yeah, they're, you know, Jesus this, and they're so bad, and da 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 da. And it's like, oh my gosh, my mom, she was so confused as a Jehovah's Witness. So, oh, what else did I say? Oh yeah, I had a very early pregnancy. Like I got pregnant at, oh my gosh, was it 19 or 20? I got pregnant at 19. I had my first baby at 20, I think. It's been so long ago. She's 28 and I'm 49, yeah. Yeah, because I really trusted. For some reason, you know, they tell us, it's funny with Jehovah's Witnesses, like we're not supposed to trust anybody, you know. We don't trust anybody outside of the organization, but then we're also not supposed to judge people. So it's kind of weird when you are a Jehovah's Witness and you're a and then you turn into a quote worldly person, because then it's kind of like, well, what do? Do you still trust people? I still did. You know, because when you meet people in the congregation, even though you've just meeting them for the first time, oh, it's my brother or my sister, right? Like you trust them immediately. So it's like there's this programming in your mind where you kind of, you're able to overlook people's flaws and trust people super easily, which is really dangerous. And so I did that. I trusted people too easily when I left the organization. And I was really expecting this really like fast connection, you know. You're my brother, you're my sister. Now I'm on the outside. Oh, you're my friend, you're my boyfriend. Like I got pregnant really quick, got married, and yeah, I had my first baby happened very fast. So I'm also gonna let go of feeling lost after I was disfellowshipped at 16. And losing everyone. I'm gonna let go of that. And I'm gonna let go of loving people that don't love me back. I'm gonna let go of them. You know, there's somebody that she's like a mom to me. She's always been like my second mom. And she's a witness, and sometimes I will text her and I will tell her, I love you, I'm thinking of you. When I drive through my hometown, on the way to the beach, or just when I'm thinking of her, I would still send her a text and tell her, I love you, thinking of you, I hope you're doing good, I miss you. You know, I would still text her because all of these people, like, I do love them. I do love the Jehovah's Witnesses. I know that they're extremely confused and trapped in this toxic religion, relationship, whatever. And so I'm going, you know, I would still text, but now I'm just going to let go of that. I'm not reaching out to anyone anymore that doesn't love me back. And that's why I wanted to do this video today. And I've been thinking about it since last weekend when I went to that baby shower and I was shunned so hard. And I was like in shock. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. And then I'm like, and then my friend's like, she's like, Elle, you are a famous apostate. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. I don't know about famous, but you know, I know that, you know, me having this YouTube channel, me speaking out, yeah, people are gonna figure it out. So of course they shunned me. I just couldn't believe it, because it's like I have believed this way. I have been having the apostate mindset for quite a few years, but then for them to really see it here. I mean, I don't know if you're watching today, you know, and you are a Jehovah's Witness and you are what I considered to be my family growing up. I will no longer be contacting you and telling you that I love you. I just want to tell you right now, I love you. And because of that, yeah, I have to let that go. I have to let it go, because I can love people and not text them. I can love people and also to love myself more, like, because it really hurts. It hurts me when people treat me the way that they do, and some people treat me the way that they do. And so I'm just gonna let that go. I'm gonna let go sending out those messages. I'm not gonna do it anymore, because I know that they don't love me back. They love a religion. They love 8 guys in New York, and it doesn't have anything to do with God. Yeah. So I love you all so much. I'm gonna let you go until until you figure out the truth about the truth, and then we'll talk, you know. And I'm not gonna be hateful towards you or mean to you. You know, we can all believe something different, but we can all believe something different and love each other. But I have to protect myself first and protect my own heart from being hurt. And it hurts. Being shunned, it hurts. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and here's the last thing I'm gonna let go of. Not knowing or being allowed to love myself. Like, it was so bad for me to love myself. I want to let go of that from my childhood. So all of these things I've written down all of them because I didn't want to miss anything. But I have, 2 pages of things that I want to let go of from my childhood. So I'm gonna rip these out. And I know this video is a little bit longer than we usually do, but I have them all written down here. And what I'm gonna do is we're gonna do this ritual that Dr. Romani was talking about. And I'm going to, this is kind of like a take on one of hers. She was saying you could write down all of the things that you want to let go or that you missed out on from this narcissistic relationship, and you can put it into like a shoebox or a box and like lay it to rest, maybe bury it. For me, I'm going to tear these all up, and I really want to let this go. I want to let go of my childhood. I want to let go of these people that don't know how to love me properly, and I want to love myself. So I have to let this stuff go. So sometimes it will happen in little ways, big ways, but this will be maybe a little way to kind of like just solidify it in my mind of, yeah, this was the day I let these people go. This is the day that I let my childhood go. And so what I'm gonna do, me and my notes. So here's what I'm gonna do. So I have all of these. It is almost gonna look like confetti. And I'm gonna take all of these. And this is like my childhood. My Jehovah's Witness childhood. I'm going to put this in my pocket. And I'm going to I'm gonna take this down to the end of the pier and I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let all of that go. I don't know, should we walk down there? Because now I'm at 35 minutes. I guess we can keep walking. Or maybe I'll just stop it now and then I can do I'm gonna do a live of the part 2. And that way, then we won't, because I have to go down there and everything. So thanks for watching today. Thanks for everyone new here that's subscribed. I've only been doing this for a little over 7 weeks. So thank you so much for your support and your love and your kindness and your, just everything. This community is crazy good. I've been so blessed by you. So thank you so much. All right. I'm going to go now and then I'm going to go do the live. Okay. Bye everyone.